Admiral's log. The situation in the Pacific continues to evolve, and today brings further news of the conflict with China. Despite our efforts to negotiate a peaceful resolution, China has refused our offer of a peace deal. The situation has become even more complex with the recent news that the British are preparing to invade China in multiple territories at once. This development adds another layer of uncertainty to an already challenging situation. On a more positive note, our new destroyer class has performed exceptionally well in recent engagements. These ships have exceeded our expectations, punching far above their weight class in combat. They have proven to be a valuable asset to our navy, and have contributed greatly to our recent successes. Our war against Austria-Hungary is a cold one. Neither side is making any attempts to send ships to the other side's waters. This might have to do with the fact that this is a journey just short of 20,000 kilometers. If we can keep our focus on China and deal with our other adversary later, then that would certainly be preferable. Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to episode 12. Today we're starting off with a Japan blockading China. I think that the British fleet has arrived, and that they're starting to add up the tonnage of both our fleets. Because I don't believe I have 700,000 tons in ships anymore. My light cruisers keep dying by the droves, so I'm not so sure I actually have 700 tons. Or sorry, 700,000 tons. Oh, the Italians and the Chinese are at war. That's going to make this more interesting. Oh, look at this. That is power projection at its best. Against one submarine. Have a good one. Please don't kill a battleship. Thank you. Can you just wait a second? I'm trying to show something here. Yeah, fine. Oh! The British are also launching a land invasion from Burma against China. Very interesting. My fleet is 792,000 tons, but the Brits got their 1.9 million. 55 battleships. How, dude? Yeah, the British have sent one battleship. Oh, wow. This is fairly spectacular. What do the Chinese have? 18 ships, consisting of largely light heavy cruisers, 1 light, and 3 battleships. That's it. Why the peace negotiations keep failing, I'm not sure about, but the Chinese just either won't come to terms with the situation, or they won't come to terms with me. One way or the other. Now, we have a couple of heavy cruisers which are still ahead here. These are all of the GUI class, so 8.6 and 11-inch guns. I have my 11s. I also have another 2 light cruisers. At this point, I'm not even going to bother refitting them. They're basically going to most likely die. But I don't really want them to, because that means that they do get victory points. Now, I have not been building ships in every year. The last design was 1918. It's the Kaio Brawler battleship. That's this guy. We've got the Bakabas from 1917. But really, 1914, 15, 16, I haven't built any ship. I'm still very much eagerly awaiting the arrival of a better light cruiser hull, because the way that it is now, I still got that really awful hull, this one, essentially, and I'm looking for something better. Now, with the arrival of the British and the decimation of the Chinese trade capabilities because of our blockade, I am expecting China to start crumbling really quickly. For some reason, they still have a GDP growth of 2.6%, but how exactly they're doing that, I'm not too sure. And apparently, as the Brits are also walking 156,000 men across the border to southern China. Oh, they're also invading from Hong Kong? Really? Both of these don't look that good. They're not a little outmanned. It's almost 5 to 1? 5 Chinese defenders to 1. If you add this, it's not 134, but I'm not so sure that the game adds 134, 8, and 10, plus 156k. I think it takes them as 2 separate events. So we might see Chinese defenders go down, and the British suddenly ramp up with the army. I don't know, the game still doesn't explain. We do have what the yearly army budget is. And you can see it doesn't even have a $sign, which... It's such a minute detail that I shouldn't even look into it, but it also just shows how unpolished the game is. I'm still very much opposed to their decision to say, no, it's finished, it's finished. We can release this as is. Anyway, my yearly army budget of 11 billion apparently wasn't enough for them to successfully land from my ships and take Kiao Chau Bay. Because I'm not so sure that we have actual marines that are capable of doing that. We did take Manchuria, and it seems to be fairly well defended. I would love to try another naval invasion, but I'm not so sure if that's going to be successful. But there isn't really that much else to do around China, really. So let's go take a trip into China. It can either be Kiao Chau Bay or northeast China. So let's see which one is more likely. Kiao Chau Bay has 124,000 defenders. Northeast China has 721,000. So once again, I'm going to try and set foot in Kiao Chau Bay, because I do believe that having another bit of territory over there would be very likely to benefit my empire, as it would give me this port. This is where most of the Chinese fleet is holed up. They still have one heavy cruiser that is going to the Caribbean? Why, dude? Maybe they're carrying the government, I don't know, maybe it's a trip. At any rate, I'm going to wait for better light cruiser hulls, and I'm going to see when the Chinese finally crumble. A month later, the Chinese don't know when to quit. They once again offered a peace deal, and I recommended to my government, yes, let's do that, let's make peace. But no, there was no peace, and the war continues, and the British, with their various colonies, are launching invasions everywhere. They're starting to take invasions like they are just plucking soldiers out of thin air. So what are the Chinese up to right now? Well, we already have the invasion of southern China, and the Japanese... Sorry, what? I have an army? What? Okay, so apparently I have an army here now. Nobody informed me about such army, and I don't know where they came from. What? I even have an army here? And I've lost forces, but the British have not? What the fuck? Where did this come from? I don't have any territory here. Why am I suddenly sending forces this way? I don't get it. Anyway, the Chinese are not just on the offensive or the defensive over there, because the Brits are also marching out of Kashmir with a force of 65,000 strong against 388,000 of the Chinese. There is also a bit of a skirmish going on as the British are walking out of Kiao Chau Bay, or rather walking into Kiao Chau Bay, where apparently only... Okay, they have a population of 100 people in the whole bay. And the rest of them are all soldiers of 175k. Seriously, what's the rest of the population doing? Sorry. What? This game makes no sense. Population 124 million, population 150 million, population 1.2 million, population 20 million, population 100. Where's everybody? I don't know, I guess they all picked up a rifle and they're not considered army force. Anyway, what are the British sending? Oh, I'm also sending forces. That's cute. The British are sending 71, I'm sending 75, and we've already lost a bit. So what I'm thinking is that the losses there is just a combination of both of our forces. Something to that effect. Anyway, at this rate, we're going to see that the naval invasion might not even be necessary. I am definitely getting the required tonnage there, but that's no guarantee for success. And it looks like Kiao Chau Bay is going to get hit from every which way. In the meanwhile, there is a submarine that is still straggling. Or sorry, I am the straggler. I am dealing with a heavy cruiser. I lost a sub, but the heavy cruiser got badly damaged. Now, somebody pointed it out in the comments a couple episodes ago. You're deploying your submarines as if they were attackers. They are not. You're right, they're not. these submarines are just designed to lay mines. That's what they do really well, the rest of them not so much. There's also a convoy here, and considering that we have a battle cruiser here, I'm actually going to take this battle. Because we have the opportunity to knock down 4 more cruisers and 7 transports. I'm going to tell the CLs to go do something else, but I will keep the Usugumo close, because she might spot for the Kamikawa Maru. This is a 13-inch gun battlecruiser. So let's have this thing go to battle, sink up a couple of heavy cruisers, and try not to get hit too badly. Perhaps the destroyer can be useful in a role such as a raider, attacking the enemy transports. Just circumventing the whole party that is considered to be the heavy cruiser fest. We are going to go right for the enemy cruisers. And you, Usugumo, are going to go right for the enemy transports. With a low draft and a high speed, these things are very, very difficult to hit. And I hope that that is also going to make me detect them before they detect me. The battlecruiser then. 13-inch guns, 8 of them. Secondary armament 4-inch guns. These are not going to be very useful because their AP values just aren't there. But HE definitely brings me options. I have found that an enemy ship can definitely be taken down if you take enough crew down. You're not even targeting the DD. The enemy's definitely over there. You can definitely take them down if you're taking down enough crew. It is possible, it'll just take a bit more time. Now, these cruisers of theirs do have some fairly spicy guns on them, so I gotta be somewhat careful and not have this thing approach too close, because some of these are... Oh, for fuck's sake. You weren't even the target. That's expensive. Bloody hell. Oh, they're gonna do it again as well. Oh well. It's not strictly fair to complain about it, because I have done the same plenty of times myself. Because the devs claim that there's absolutely no problem with hitting a ship that's sailing in front of somebody else, when it really is a bit of a problem. Fortunately, my battlecruiser might be able to deal with all these ships alone and go for the transports. Because I know that transports do around 13 knots, and the Kamikawa Maru can do 30. Now this high speed is impacting her accuracy to some extent, and also the fact that these ships are sailing around a lot and maneuvering every which way makes it a bit more difficult. So my accuracy is kind of all over the place. There you go, blocked. Just throw high explosive at them, would you? Our high explosive is not stellar, but what are we firing? Incendiary? High cap, yeah, basically the same thing. So the Kamikawa Maru might be able to start bashing these things around, and if you just knock them hard enough with HE, they will still catch fire. They're definitely not quick. Cruising speed 12 knots. So on the map these things are awfully slow. Now they came kind of out of this direction, so I'm suspecting that the enemy convoy is also fairly close. And if I just keep steaming in this direction, I should be able to find the convoy. Well, well, well. Convoy. Convoy ship hit, convoy ship dead. 15,000 damage to one ship. So, nice job with the escort there, cruisers. Just a shame that I don't need much more than one hit, potentially even with the secondaries, to punch a couple of really big holes in a couple of really big transports. It does seem that the transports aren't as... Oops. Sorry. Aren't as valuable anymore relative to what they were a couple of patches ago. It seems that you do get fewer victory points, but nevertheless... Oops. It is very interesting and definitely satisfying to hit these things for tens of thousands of points of damage. Now, a bit of picking up survivors there, aka hiding... Whoops! Hiding behind the other guy. So, anybody seen some heavy cruisers to sink, or should we just take the... Oh, there's another one. Should we just take out the transports and call it a day? I mean, using a 13-inch gun against a transport... Oh, there's even more. Could be considered... Sorry. Could be considered overkill. But I consider it just, you know, verified murder. No, it's, let's say, very... very efficient. Because you don't need as many shells. You just need one hit. As opposed to just firing a whole bunch of 4-inch shells at them that might or might not hit with their 6% chance. You just fire off the main guns once, and you just sink the transport. So that's your transport sunk. That's 350 victory points for me and some 37 for you for showing up. I'm not even sure why they're getting points, but it's amusing. This is yet another blow to the already weak Chinese economy. So, by the looks of it, either China is going to collapse entirely, or it's going to get conquered by my British ally and myself. The real question then becomes, who gets what territory? Because let's say this area here, we're invading together. We're invading together here. What happens? Who wins? And who's gonna get what? I'm not sure. Now it is October 1918, so I'm almost allowed to get another hull. Get another design, and soon we're gonna have Battlecruiser 5. What I'm currently running is Battlecruiser 3? Let's see what we have. Because that's the Senyo from 1916. It's a slightly older design at this point. Yeah, I think we're running the 4 or the 3. Let's see. Haruna. Yeah, I think Haruna is the one. Yeah, that's the Battlecruiser 3. So that's an older hull, clocking out at about 30,000 tons. These new battlecruisers, Battlecruiser 4 and 5, are probably going to be substantially bigger, 46,000 tons. And my shipyards can do even more, so I can punch these up to be really beefy ships. Displacing 52,000 tons, which, yes, still isn't as much as the 69,000 ton base or fully upgraded version, clocking in at 78,000 tons, but then we already got this ship, we got Kaio. So I'm really much interested in Battlecruiser 5. But I'm not yet sure who to design it for, or potentially who to design it against, because I'm not sure who the next target is going to be. Arguably it's going to be Austria-Hungary, because Austria-Hungary and I are in a sort of a Cold War, where nothing happens. They're keeping to their side of the world, I'm keeping to my side of the world, and we're just not shooting each other at all. Nothing much is happening, except for the fact that Austria-Hungary might have a battle with the Russians very soon. They're minus 97, so as much as an insult is going to be able to spark another war there. I believe that the French are also... Yeah, the French and the Spanish are at war. I'm not sure what happened here, but this could be interesting, because southern France, 221,000, could launch an invasion against northern Spain. If France decides to invade Spain, then the French could become a really potent force in Europe. Really potent. Germany, in the meanwhile, they have had their own share of wars. 89 billion in economy. The Chinese 31, I'm 55. The French 180 billion. The Brits 297 billion. In the US 173 billion. They're growing by 14% per year. Almost 15%, so they're growing really quickly. Their fleet, 1 million tons. 8 battleships. 44 battleships for the French. It does look like a lot, but the real question is, how many of those are outdated? How many of those are just old designs from 1910 that are still floating around, but are mostly harmless because their range-finding technology is just strictly outdated, because maybe they haven't even been maintained, maybe they're mothballed, I'm not so sure. Anyway, I was refitting and repairing a couple of ships. That is now over. No. I am potentially going to be able to get a few... Oh, Yes. No, sorry, it's in Gabon. Okay. And Mauritania. Angola has defeated the remnants of Portugal's forces. Okay. I'm losing forces, but the Chinese are losing 3 times the number. I like that. Naval invasion still progressing. It's weird shit's happening. I'm not so sure how many of those French or British battleships are actually still dangerous. That is something that you just don't get a lot of information about. Oh, the Chinese have changed their flag again? What the hell? How many times do you change your flag? Okay, I've got quite a nice amount of tonnage available. I am building a couple of new battleships. Status at sea, no. Status building. Satsuma, Warosama, and Kamoi. Battlecruiser and battleship. Satsuma is the battle... yes. I wasn't able to build any of my new class yet. That's the Brawlers. The Kaio. Because my shipyard didn't have any spare capacity. Now it does. It's still quite taxing, these new ships. But it is going to be something that I want to just at least set in motion. So that they'll eventually come off the slipway. Because this is almost a 3-year project. This new Brawler class. Now, in the meanwhile, the research has been complete on the new battlecruiser design. So let's have a look at that hull. And see if I can already start planning something around that. I'm not allowed to actually build it yet, per my own rules. Battlecruiser 5. 43,000 tons. Ah, you got a... Right, you got a bit of the look of the modernized Dreadnought 3. Maximum optimal speed 30 knots. Swift boy. Hull form is good. Stability slightly better. Resistance, floatability, all slightly better. Sustained speed while turning, all slightly better. Surface visibility, also better. So it has far more likeliness, or at least 500 more meters likeliness to be detected. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I can work around that. If I'm able to outshoot my enemy. But considering what the enemy so far has been fielding, I'm not too I'm not too troubled with that prospect. I think I can make that work. Now, let's see what happens in the next couple of months, as the Chinese apparently just keep changing their flag, but that doesn't absolve them from coming under attack. They have, however, bolstered their army in southern China, and we have not. We have not. Good lord. If we lose this, all these landing invasions, these just land marches, we're potentially going to lose out on a lot of victory points. I don't like it. And finally, the Pacific will know peace. For a while. Peace has been signed between the Empire of Japan and the Republic of China. What are we going to get? Well, I can get a lot of money. I don't need a lot of money, because I already have a lot of money. I got 3 billion stored in the war chest. So yeah, if you're offering Mongolia up, then yeah, I'm not opposed. As for your heavy cruisers and battleships, you can keep those. I can design far better myself, so I'm going to do that. This is the proposition, however. And they are giving up Mongolia. Okay. Yevgeny Panserzhansky has been replaced by Karl Galler. The Du Shengwang is replaced by Deng Zhishang. Okay. Smoke composition. Wow, the French are having a bad time with mines in Europe. Ooh, battleships even. 20% damage to the Invincible. Well, I guess she's invincible. War erupted between the British and the German. Oh joy. The British just cannot leave well enough alone. Now, that also means that I'm at war with them, because I'm allied with the British. So immediately we also spark a war, and this means that the British are gonna have the potential support from my fleet in Europe if I can send them out that far. Because my ships aren't exactly designed for extended missions like these. Now there's also southern France going at southern Spain? What? How? Southern France, I get. To southern Spain? Yeah, you can cancel your naval invasion now. How are you instantly jumping? You sneaky French guys are marching right across the coastline? Right, so the French are about to invade Spain. The French are about to invade Morocco. The French are about to invade the Sahara. Oh man, this is just comedy here. All these ships moving around. All these armies moving around. What the hell? I am going to welcome the new province of Mongolia. Has the population of Kiautschou Bay stabilized? Nope, still 100. Okay. Is this going to make me any money? 100 million, give or take. Keep in mind, this is GDP money. This is not, I'm going to get 100 million every month, year, what have you. Sadly not. It also means that because I suddenly am no longer at war, I'm not getting as much money per month. Sorry, I am, yeah, never mind. I am still at war. We're still apparently blockading, yeah, we're blockading China, but that is a remnant from the previous turn. So, the Germans. What do the Germans have? The German Reich has 3 battleships, 6 battle cruisers, and a slew of smaller ships. Their tonnage is about 560,000 tons. The British have 3 times, almost 4 times that. They have a highly respected admiral and their population is very content. The Germans have a disrespected admiral and they are content, but not as much. The economy is 90 billion for the Germans, 300 billion for the British. Okay. Yeah, let's see if I can send some ships out. Perhaps I should modernize them first. Also, I got all sorts of submarines. Just get back here, boys. The war is over. So we can just take some shore leave. That's you. You guys are going to go back to Port Arthur. We had submarines over there. You're going to go back to here. So what do I have currently deployed? That's 3 battleships, 3 battle cruisers, and a couple of heavies. Still the 1914 version of the Yumi class. Bloody hell, those things are old. Now the range on these ships is only 10,000 kilometers. So if I would want to move them all the way over there, that is going to require a lot of refueling. Holy shit. I'm not sure how we're going to get home. I mean, I can resupply in Valletta, because it is a British port. I can resupply probably in Egypt, because they're an ally. But yeah, we're going to have to make a couple of pit stops here and there. As for my fleet, I don't want to send everybody away, of course. So let's see what I would hold back. We got Nigitsu, Kasuga, Mikaho, Setsu, Taibo, Akagi. They're all in various ports, so that should be enough. Let's send this strike group out. And I'm first going to send them here, like to Berbera. That's 12,000 kilometers. 5 turns. Well, join the Navy, see the world. This is going to be a long expeditionary mission. As for potential expansion further over to the north, the Russians do have some ships, a battle cruiser and 2 lights, and the Russians generally are embroiled in all sorts of wars. What sort of flag do they have today? Here. Well, they're just shy of going to war with the Germans, with Austria-Hungary, and with China. So they have quite a lot of potential for conflict. My reputation with them is excellent, so I'm not very interested in actually trying to provoke them, because it's just going to take a lot of my reputation away. Do I want a peace treaty with the French? Perhaps. Well, let's improve friendship there. Let's see if that works. Now, research, cruiser hull coming up. Let's hope it's going to be something good. And not a month later, war erupted between the Soviet Union and the Chinese. I guess the Chinese are constantly at war with somebody. They're still blockaded by me, even though the war's been over for a month or 2. I don't know why my fleet is still harassing their merchant shipping, but whatever. My relationship with the Republic of China is going down, which is not necessarily bad, because it means that I might do some further expanding into the Chinese areas. I've also joined the French in an alliance, so I'm now allied with both French and the British. I have a lot of friends now, a lot of powerful friends at that. The Spanish do not seem to have that many friends. Oh wow, the British are losing transports in the North Sea? How? No. What? Never mind. How are the British losing ships here? Because the North Sea is their domain. I don't understand. Power projection. The power projection is still higher for the British than it is for the Germans. How are the Germans successful at sinking their ships here? What? Oh, I forgot about this. I got Helgoland. Okay. Can I park a ship there the moment it gets built? This one's already almost finished. This one's repairing. No, sadly not. It's not of a shipyard. Because that would have been funny, just parking ships or spawning ships essentially right in front of the Germans and potentially mining the whole area with a bunch of submarines. Sadly, I cannot build them there. Fortunately, I can send them there. So what sort of submarines do I currently have? These are the ones with 16 mines. That's the mine layer sub 2? No. The mine layer sub 1. I can build a whole bunch of mine layer sub 2s or coastals. These only have 12. 1 torpedo tube. These have 2 torpedo tubes and a 3.5-inch gun. Okay. Give me a flight of like 11 submarines and we're going to send those to the Germans. Because why not? Why not? If we can just deploy submarines here, mine the whole shit out of the area, and anything that comes out of Emden, Wilhelmshaven, Bremen, Hamburg, or Kiel is going to have a really bad day. I'm also quite interested to see where the German fleet is. Got a light cruiser there. We got 5 DDs and a light cruiser there. They got a submarine there and something else. Are the Germans off on some adventure with their fleet? Because the AI does all sorts of crazy stuff with their fleets. Sending them out to spots where they really have no business being. But I don't know where the German fleet is. They're not over here. They're not parked. Has anybody seen about 500,000 tons of German warships? Because I don't know where they went. The only thing it could be is that they're behind this guy. But because they occupy the exact same space, I cannot click on the other ship. So I cannot see what the other fleet has, which is potentially the best way of camouflaging a ship that I've seen thus far. Simply being unable to use the UI to actually click on it. Well, hey, Dutch ships? Dutch heavy cruisers. Wow, okay. My ships. Here. They're gonna take a long time getting there. I have exactly 6 minesweeping capacity. So if the Germans start using so much as any mine, I'm gonna have a problem with this group. I could attach a couple of destroyers to that group, but they probably won't get there very soon. Do I have any DDs in sizable quantities? Yeah. But they're older class. Okay. It's looking like it's going to be a really interesting 1919. I'm not sure how we're instantly getting 116k in victory points, because it's almost like they inherited this from the Chinese. Seriously, the game is so borked. This is absolutely not a release version. It is so weird that it's not a release version. Anyway, that'll be it for today. I hope you guys had fun laughing along with me at the various weird things that were happening, Kiao Chu Bei. And I hope that you will join me soon for the next one. The Chinese changed their fucking flag again? Good lord, they do more marketing than most businesses. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon for the next.